intense self-effort. He says, and here again, there's one of the quotes for this section, there is a path to the end of suffering. Tread it or take it. It's not like you just sit around and it comes to you. Or that you can make magical sounds. Or that you have hope and it's going to come to you. Right? You have to take this path. Another quote. Those who rely upon themselves only, not looking for assistance to anyone besides themselves, it is they who will reach the topmost height. They're the ones that are going to get it. Right? After all, what did Ramana Maharshi depend on? He wasn't even in a group. He didn't really learn about Hinduism until afterwards, after he was on that mountain all those years. That's when he started learning about Hinduism. He had the experience first. 6th point is also an important one. What else was Gautama against? Supernatural. What about the supernatural? What about the supernatural?
No fortune telling.
Yeah, that kind of thing, supernatural. Like, for example, you say fortune telling. Uh-oh. That happens here in Japan. Anybody ever had their palm read? Right? So, fortune telling. What else was he, something similar to that? When you think of supernatural in religion, what kind of things do you think of?
Pray to gods, pray to objects or gods for something to happen.
Yeah, for something super to happen. Anyway, some kind of dependence and some kind of beyond normal expectations of the natural world, something we might call magical. He was all against that. Devoid of the supernatural. Also, supernatural powers. Like what? If you think of religion, what kind of supernatural powers do you hear religious people claim to have?
Healing.
Healing, right? You touch somebody and I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I think it does happen, but this is the kind of thing he was not focusing on. You touch someone and they're sick and they get better. What else? What were some things that Jesus did?
Walk on water.
Walk on water. Right? That's supernatural activities, right? Walk through walls. Now, I have to say, the Hindus claimed that they could do things like that. They said that they got enough psychic power built up that they could do things like that. But whether they could do them or not, Gautama was saying, it doesn't matter. That's not the point. So, devoid of supernaturalism, yes. This is how he started. This was part of his teaching. These were guidelines for his teachings, like the Four Truths. And notice what is stated next by this author. After the Buddha's death, all the accoutrements that he had labored to protect, in other words, all of these points that were important to him, all of these things that he wanted to keep out of his religion came into it. But it's not his fault. So that's the thing. The original teachings had these qualities. And that's basically what I'm pointing at. To some extent, that continued, but certainly not completely, because supernaturalism, faith in external powers, and all kinds of other kinds of practices eventually came in and were called Buddhism. Buddhism, as I told you before, If someone calls himself a Buddhist, it could mean a lot of different things.